This is Lori Murgis. She came here from Lakewood, Ohio.
God, I mean, what, is anybody in Ohio? Or are you all? That's a good thing.
She's a single mom. She has 3 young kids. She's a breast cancer survivor. Lori and her kids qualified for Medicaid after she lost her job due to corporate downsizing. Lori?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for the Medicaid expansion in Ohio.
So you qualify for Medicaid, and you are a mom with 3 kids, and that's helping you
that
to
saved
have
my
health
life.
care? Huh?
It saved my life.
In case these Republicans wonder, no. Why did he expand Medicaid? You just heard it right here. A mom with 3 kids, and she's getting some help. Now we want to get you on your feet, and we want to get you a job. Yep. Okay, we have to work at that, right?
Exactly. So right before I was diagnosed, my company downsized and I lost my position. And I was in the middle of a job search when I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. So this Medicaid expansion literally did save my life. And I've been in breast cancer treatment for the last 17 months. And I just finished last month. So my question for you is, going forward, if the current administration repeals and replaces the Affordable Care Act and slashes federal funding for Medicaid, how do you think this is going to affect people across America, people like me, that rely on Medicaid for life-saving
Well, why don't you say how it would affect you?
I'm not the only one. There's other people too.
Well, you
so
know
how
what?
does it affect all
Here's
of
the
us?
other thing, is maybe we don't know this, but if you're drug addicted, you know how many times you're likely to fail to beat your addiction? Do you know that if you're mentally ill, if you are schizophrenic, I'll tell you a story. I was driving home, had one of the guys that looks after me, one of the troopers with me, and we drive up to this corner, and there's a guy, and I'm thinking he's combing his hair with his hand, and as I look at him, I can see he has a cigarette lighter, and that's how he's giving himself a haircut. And I looked at the trooper, and I said, you know, that's your brother. And he looked at me, I said, yeah, it's my brother too. That's a human being that was created for a purpose. I don't want these people to be lost, and that's why I've spoken out so aggressively on this. I don't know if I'll win, because when you're in Congress, you try to meet these little standards, and you don't really understand the impact as much as you should. So I'm going to continue to speak out for those people. Now, do I think Obamacare can be dramatically changed and should be? Absolutely, I believe it should. I'll tell you another thing. I believe it is dead wrong to cut the funding for the National Institutes of Health. I think funding for NIH ought to be dramatically increased, because we need cures for these problems. And look, have your priorities. You know, have the priorities you need, but you got to understand, you know, it's back to that thing I said just a few minutes ago, Anderson. It's not just your head, but your heart. And I believe that we can continue to fund NIH and have major breakthroughs. I believe it's possible. We're going to stick $20 million into research on what we can use to try to keep people from having these desires once they are addicted. I mean, research and science. Oh, by the way, science matters too. Okay, I believe that. Our environment matters too. So.